What is up, guys? And today I'm going to be giving you my top 25 AP poll reaction. At the time I'm filming this, just came out this morning at about 11 a.m. So, fresh off the presses, if you will, about 10-ish hours ago or so. So, I'm just going to be giving you my unbiased reaction as best I can. And, yeah, we'll get into it. So I'm just going to go through 1 through 25 in that order. Just give you if I think it's good, if I have any problems with it. So, I would say the top 6 or 7 are probably pretty solid for now. I mean, you got Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss. You can always argue, like, oh, flip these two teams around, but I think the top 6 is pretty solid overall. Notre Dame comes in at 7. You know, I am a bit of a Notre Dame hater, as you will come to find out, but honestly, I don't know if you can argue that any of the teams behind them should be ahead of Notre Dame. Like Penn State, Michigan, Florida State, which I'll get to those teams in a little bit. But, I don't know if Notre Dame is the 7th best team in the country, but I don't know if you can put them behind anyone else who they are facing right now. The bottom few teams of the top 10 is where I start having some issues. Um, Penn State, Michigan, Florida State, probably those first two, Penn State and Michigan. Penn State, I I'm struggling to see. There are a lot of teams on this list that I'll get to in a bit that just consistently are ranked in a top spot wherever they may be, and then consistently do not perform to those expectations. Penn State is definitely one of them. I don't know if 8 is the right spot for them, and I'll tell you who I think at least one team who I think could be ahead of those teams could be Michigan also. I mean, obviously defending champs and whatever, although uh, I guess I just won't say anything. But, you know, we'll see. I mean, Michigan, they lost a lot. Their QB play is going to be definitely weaker than last year, although last year's QB just did a lot of handing off, but that's besides the point. So, anyways, Penn State and Michigan, I think they could definitely be moved down. And I think a team that could be moved up in their place if I were a voter would be Missouri. I think if you ask yourself who wins in a head to head against Penn State and Missouri, against Michigan and Missouri, I think Missouri does, especially offensively. I think Missouri blows either Penn State or Michigan out of the water offensively. Defensively, maybe the Tigers aren't as strong, but we'll see. Utah 12, the Big 12, I think is just going to be so interesting. I really have no idea, especially later on in the rankings with like Oklahoma State and Kansas State. Like those two teams, I just really I have no idea. There are a lot of intangibles with those two teams, I feel. LSU at 13, they have a ton of intangibles. I think their week 1 matchup against USC is going to be one to watch for sure. That'll be very entertaining. Clemson 14 coming in second in the ACC. I think that's decently accurate, I would say. Tennessee 15. I think the new QB Nico Iamaleava, I think. Did I get that right? I don't know. I think he will definitely be fun to watch. I mean, he did very well in the bowl game against Iowa's defense, which is seriously no joke. So I think he'll be fun to watch. So I'm going to say that's a decent ranking for now. Um, yeah, getting into the lower, or I guess higher 20s, Oklahoma State and Kansas State. I mean, I really have no idea. Kansas State obviously got a new team, new quarterback coming in, Avery Johnson, who got a little bit of playing time last year behind Will Howard, but we'll see how he does. If he's on point, Kansas State, I think, is in the Big 12 championship game for sure. And Oklahoma State, is a team that's returning a lot from last year, including probably undoubtedly the best running back in the country, which is Ollie Gordon. Miami at 19. I think this is a decent ranking. A lot of people are gonna say it's not. But whether it is or it isn't, I think we're gonna find out sooner or later on August 31st against Florida if that was an accurate ranking. And if we lose, it wasn't. And we'll be out of the AP poll the next week. So, yeah, that's that. Texas A&M, Arizona, I think could be a team to watch. They were going to be, I was really high on them in the offseason, but then Jedd Fisch left for Washington, and now a ton of his players left for Washington too. A ton of the players at Arizona left for Washington with him, so that really stinks for Arizona. Kansas could be another team to watch in the Big 12. USC, NC State, and then Iowa finishing out the top 25. The age-old question of will Iowa's offense get any better? They did hire a new offensive coordinator, which was definitely time to do that. The old offensive coordinator was the son of head coach Kirk Ferentz, and he just couldn't drive the offense down the field if his life depended on it. So they get former head coach of Western Michigan, Tim Lester, in there, so we'll see how that works out. And that's the top 25. Some teams I would just like to point out receiving some votes: Louisville, Virginia Tech, Boise State. No group of five teams in there. I thought that was a little interesting. SMU, Iowa State. I would also like to point out that Colorado received a vote. That's a bit strange, I think, but it is what it is. So actually three ACC teams, SMU in there too. Three ACC teams right on the edge of the top 25, but only four got in. So I think those are just my thoughts on the AP top 25. I'll have a Big 12 video soon, SEC video soon. So yeah, that's it for this one, and I'll see you guys later on.